If you're watching Curb Your Enthusiasm, there's only 2 more left. And then you got to go back and rewatch the entire series. I was texting with my old pal Jeff Garland, who co-created that thing with Larry Sanders. Larry Sanders, who didn't sleep last night.
Larry David.
And Jeff was going to come in this morning because he was supposed to come in and sing the stretch at Wrigley. But his plans changed. So he's scheduling that for sometime later in the month of April, and he'll come in when he's going to do it.
That'd be fun.
So it'll be good to see Jeff. I haven't seen him in a while. 8:23. By the way, and good for him, he's spoken about being diagnosed with bipolar. So God bless him for that, having lost 2 friends to this horrible, nightmarish condition. We cannot talk enough about mental health, mental illness, and stop treating it like it's something we should be quiet about. There's no snap out of it. There's no walk it off. There's no get some sun. It's a legitimate medical malady and needs to be treated with that severity.
And if someone brings up anything that would even amount to some sort of, mental issue, listen so you can
Support
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen. Sometimes we just push it off.
Nope.
And you don't listen.
Can't do it.
Just listen for a minute. Slow down and say,
ask how you can help.
Right. If you think something's wrong.
Kris Kiser joins us. Kris is the boss at TurfMutt. Slow time of the year?
Busy time. Happy spring.
Happy spring to you. Let's start with the obvious. What are we putting on our lawns if we're doing it ourselves right now?
Fertilizer and weed control. But most importantly, if you're going to give out your equipment, this is the time. Fresh fuel, oil and gas, air filter. If you're going to use a machine, you got to do it clean.
So drain whatever's in there.
Absolutely. Dump it out. Fuel has ethanol in it, hygroscopic, absorbs water. Typically, if you store it with fuel in it, you're right. Dump it. Fresh fuel. Got to put oil in the machine if it needs it. Engine without oil is a dead engine. And if you've not been in your yard, get out rocks, sticks, dog toys. The mower's going to find those.
Good point.
Dog toy.
Yeah, take a walk. Yeah, take a walk back.
And
there.
how fun would that be? Get a little grounded, get out there in the green grass or the sort of almost I want to be green grass. So, Kris, I've seen people, mowing their lawns. The service is coming and mowing lawns. And I'm thinking, I look outside, I'm like, I don't have enough lawn to mow right now. Is it too soon to cut the grass, or is that helping it as we start moving into the spring weather?
It's probably not too soon, as long as you're not going to get another hard freeze. And if you're seeing treatments, the pre-emergent weed control is what's being applied now in early spring fertilizers. Now is the time. Even in northern regions, you've got growth probably. You've got water and warmth. So now is the time to do those things, to prep that lawn. Now is the time to aerate it, scarify it, seed it. It's all getting ready to start. And so that preparatory work is key.
I got a couple listeners here with a critter and an insect question. The critter question is overrun with squirrels. Anything I can do to control that before they damage the lawn?
Yeah, I'm not an animal control guy. I have dogs. They pretty well keep them out of the yard. But other than that, that's a challenge. Hopefully they'll stop digging. If they're taking out what they've buried, hopefully they'll stop digging in it.
Well, the problem is when they bury this is true. When they bury the nuts, science has proven they forget where the nuts are.
And then
so they go
digging.
back and they look for more.
What about
the cicadas? Let me get that in because that was a segue.
Yeah, do that.
Cicadas were about to be invaded. Any advice for that?
Again, your dogs are going to get tired of eating them or chasing them. Noise control. There's nothing we can do about it. As you know, it's a double brood. They're going to be thick as thieves and loud. So grin and bear it. It's Mother Nature, and it'll pass, but it'll be a fairly unpleasant couple of weeks.
Okay.
Sounds like a cicada pie or cicada ice cream will be in store for the summer times.
There you go.
I'm seeing a lot of buds. We have a tree that buds beautiful pink flowers early in the season, and we've got some coming out of the ground. We've had a couple of freezes. Are they done, or do you think they can pull through and bloom for me?
Hard freezes. So if you're just going to get a frost, hopefully they make it through. We are having an early spring. We're about a month ahead in a lot of areas of the country. So you've got a lot of stuff that's flowering early. It would be very sad to get a hard freeze and lose them. But April weather can be challenging, so hopefully not. Hopefully our hard freezes are behind us. You can always cover them. So if you've got fresh flowers that you think will be damaged, you can cover them, and they'll likely survive.
You get asked this all the time. Do we bag the grass if we've got an established lawn or not?
Not necessary. Now, you may want to clean it up, right? So the first time you mow, pick up everything that's on the lawn, a lot of leaves and other debris, bag that, dump that. Leaving your grass clippings on the ground, if you're using a mulching mower, is terrific natural fertilizer. That's fine. It'll shred it. If you're using a mulching mower, it'll shred it finely. 773,
hot summer last summer, not a lot of rain, everything browns out. Do we leave it brown if it happens again?
Yeah, hopefully if you've got an established lawn or established plants, if you've got the right plants in the right place, it'll just go dormant. It'll brown up. It won't be necessarily pretty, but it's just dormancy. And it'll spring back when the rains come, as they inevitably do.
312, I've got soil in different areas where a garden would be, or perhaps where I want to plant. How do we prep the soil?
You may want to remediate it. You may want to, especially if you're going to create a bed or garden area, put some improvements in there. Buy some topsoil. Buy some, and to do it right, a tiller. Rent a tiller, and that'll loosen up the soil. Remember, it compacts, and so you want to loosen it up, get some air in it, and turn that material into the soil. A tiller's perfect.
Aeration, pro, con, win?
Big win. Punch holes in the ground. Air, especially if you're going to overseed, that helps the seed get down. It helps fertilizer get down. That lawn needs air. So, yes, punching holes in it with an aerator is a good thing to do.
There's another texture here, and it's a part of a longer question. I want to get Scott in here as well. But the question from the 847 is about the length of the lawn, because you got some people who, you got the one lawn nut in your neighborhood is out there with toenail clippers, making sure every blade is perfect. And then you got other people who will let it grow to 6 inches before they cut it. Yeah. Is there a perfect length?
3 or 4 inches is kind of standard. Now, the taller the grass, if you're getting into a drought situation or heat, it'll shade itself. It's a little easier on the grass, but it's a little taller if you're in a stress situation. But certainly in a growing situation early in spring, you're fine. 3 to 4 inches. You should be getting adequate water in the spring for it to take off.
All right, a couple more, and then Scott will tell us his question and then get the news. 847, I have weed sprouting. Can I use preen? I don't know what preen is. Sounds like something I'd put on my hair.
Yeah, preen is, I don't know. I'm not an expert. Now is the time, though. The pre-emergent weed killers, now is the time to use them. So if you're going to use a weed killer, it's likely now that a professional would do that along with your early spring fertilizer.
847, fertilizer, weed killers that are pet friendly. Any you'd recommend?
I keep my dogs off of it. Once it dries, you're fine, particularly if it dries and then you get water on it and it runs it into the ground. I do, they notice you. They say if it dries, usually typically 24 hours, you're fine. I keep my dogs off of it until I know it's dry and been watered.
Scott, last one.
Aeration. Let's go back to that. Better in the fall or better in the spring?
Well, if you're going to overseed, that's best in the fall. And the key to do that is scarify. Try to get your thatch up, rake the yard with a thatching rake, aerate, and overseed. Fall is the perfect time, but spring is a good time as well.
I like it.
It's always a good time. Just don't do it in the stress months, the hot months. Other than that, you're probably pretty good.
It's TurfMutt, President and CEO of TurfMutt and the TurfMutt Foundation. Where are you sending people to find out more?
TurfMutt.com.
I appreciate you jumping on.
You bet. Thanks.
Stop talking to us. You're busy.
Thank you, Kris.
Okay, bye-bye. There you go. There you go.
TurfMutt.com. A lot of information there, a lot of infographics.
And it's and the website smells like fresh cut lawn when you go there.
It sure does, yeah.
Emanates right out of your speakers.
And puppy licks.